here we go. Hey, listen, you know what? I feel like this is like, now we are really, really back. Let me tell y'all something, man. I know last pod, you know, we're still in the same space, but a different part of the space, you know, undisclosed locations and all that.
Yes, sir.
Our audio should be sounding a lot more pristine right now. We should be sounding like how we sounded at the old joint. You know what I mean?
We sounded lost last episode.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my God. Like it was a lot. The AC was hovering in the back. You know what? In my mind, I'm like, yo, they could think we're in a warehouse. They think we are in the back of a cooler
Right?
somewhere right now, and they're wondering, are they freezing? Is the chicken nuggets going cold? It's like there was no processed meat. You know what I'm saying? There was no. Need to worry, but listen, like we said, we're getting it together, man. Like we're excited about this new space. You know, y'all are seeing multiple angles and getting to see different aspects of us. So with that being said, welcome to episode 27 of Everything's Everything podcast. I'm your host, Stefan.
It's your boy Jiggy.
And we're here to talk about a lot of diverse topics, a lot of interesting topics, a few trending topics. And please, y'all, like, comment, subscribe. It helps a lot. We appreciate everybody, once again, who watches the podcast, who tunes in, who are return listeners, who support the Instagram. And follow us on TikTok. I'm trying to get the TikTok popping. Listen, I can't dance. I can't do no trendy TikTok dances, bro.
Yeah.
Jiggy, can you do any trendy?
I can't do it.
Nah. Listen, look, you know, we're 90s babies, and we stay in our lane. Like, we
He's
are.
a 90s baby. I'm going to keep that. I don't need nobody call me. I ain't gonna nobody call me Unc. You know what I mean?
I'm bro. I'm a few months away from being Unc, bro. It is what it is, man. I can't deny it, bro.
The kid just said, he said, you was born in the 19s?
Oh my God, bro. Isn't that crazy? Bro, this is like we was having the homie here, his son, what, 11 years old? He was born like 2015.
2015.
2015.
Yes.
I said, bro, why were there kids in 2015?
Yeah, this doesn't sound real.
It doesn't sound real. He's looking at us like, oh, you're 19-something?
The 19.
You're 19s? You don't have a tune for your birth year? I was like, bro, what? Let me tell you something, man. Listen, we're not going to get into that. Y'all like and comments, all the young boys out there, come get some knowledge from your big bros, man. We're still big bros.
Yeah, man.
We're still big bros. We kind of cool still. But, man, it's a lot happening in the world, bro.
Yes, sir.
And observing the world is one of the reasons why I started this podcast and asked you to join me in it, because I feel like you observe the world in a very similar lens where it's like, it feels like the world's on fire. And I wanted to have a talk about taboo topics and how, as a culture, as human beings, we can go about having some of these more difficult talks with difficult subjects. You know, you've heard people say, like, oh, you can't talk politics and religion, and, you know, you keep those subjects away from, like, the dinner table and, like, the workplace and everything like that. I'm like, you know what? We really may start to have to learn how to talk about more politics and more religions to get more in depth of a discussion on what's happening today, because ultimately, bro, I feel like those conversations, if we learn how to have them, can be constructive. But I understand that as of right now, why we probably don't see those topics being broached or talked about in a healthy manner is that, like, manipulation through media. I feel like a lot of that's some fear tactics, not understanding where other people are coming from and fearing what we don't know. I feel like right now the world is very anxious. You know what I mean? It's no secret that gas prices nationwide are skyrocketing. Food costs are going up. Housing's going up. And y'all probably be wondering, like, what does this have to do with politics or religion or any other taboo subject? And the fact of the matter is, it's kind of like everything. You know what I mean? I view the world in somewhat like a Charlotte's Web type of scenario, like a spider's web, where things you don't think connect actually connect. And as it pertains to politics and some people's religious views, it's been interwoven for generations now. It's no secret. Like, the reason why Malcolm X isn't as heralded as Martin Luther King is because of his religious belief and how, you know, a lot of mainstream media has demonized people in a religious group, especially like Muslims, and calling them things like extremists, attaching words that maybe incite fear or anxiety in people. Or even now, we're going to get into a flip of the Druski topic, but even now you're seeing in politics how, the evangelical Christians are, used as a talking point for right-wing media outlets, and how that propaganda gets pushed, and how they pull and play and control or manipulate people's religious strings and their commitment to that, and how they identify with that to keep a fan base or a voters base, really, to push their agendas. And really, their agendas hurt all of us. Because once again, here we are again, filled with grief for, people who are losing their lives in war, grief over people not being able to afford their necessities. And I feel like it's time that we start having these discussions in a more open and healthy manner, so that we can bridge a gap and start taking action to really get the world back in order.
Bro, I think that is a great topic that you bring up here about, having those conversations about politics and also religion. I do think, right, bro, like in the world we live in today, it is difficult to have the intricate conversations when it comes to religion views or politics, just for the simple fact that people really die behind these things.
Right.
People's lives change. People live by different means behind these things. And it becomes less of a taboo and more of people wanting to leave that type of sensitive topic out of the conversation and just get to the gist of why you're here. Right. So if I'm at the dinner table, I want to come, I want to eat, I want to talk about how your day is going. I don't want to talk about maybe your political view. And I don't want to talk about any like religious view, because I don't want to hear a specific bias in the conversation that we may have that may be just circled around something that may be just simple. How's your day going?
Right.
Before you get to how's your day going, then you're gonna talk about your religion and then talk about your politics. But no, I just want to know how your day is going, how you're doing. You know what I mean? And leave that stuff off the table, right? In today's world, also, I do feel like people are having those conversations, right? And I feel like the thing about it is that we're just not being heard, right? So I do feel like people are screaming out at the top of their lungs to be heard, right? But I think it goes into what you're saying. The media is only playing what they want you to see from it, right? And then also you brought up Malcolm X, or I don't know if you said Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther King, they changed the perception of around what they were actually there for and what they were doing,
100%.
Right? So what we're looking at, what we've been saying, it's been there. We've been speaking. We've been having these conversations. It's just that the conversations that are being had are not reaching the right people's ears, right? And in the box that a lot of us are in, that they put us in, we can't see past it, right? So when those conversations are being had, in order to get things done, we're not really seeing it. We're not even able to vote. We're not even able to put our 2 cents in, because we're so, we only see one thing, or we only see what they want us to see. So, I mean, in that aspect, just thinking about a solution, as far as just having a conversation itself, you know what I mean? I would definitely say, like, a lot of us out here, right? Instead of taking what's on the surface, like, really do our research. There's a lot of things that are put into our face to say, hey, was this, right? Just so we can just believe it, but then it's a deeper story behind it. And I just think, and I don't think I think that's with politics, religion, but also I think that's with each individual also, right? Everybody needs to do their research as far as when it comes to politics and religion, and those are sore topics. I can't stress enough how sometimes some people may feel in certain situations, like, for instance, to me, talk about religion or politics, it may not mean that much to me, right? But something that may be dear to my heart, I may not want to talk about. And I always have to put myself in the mindset that may be the same feeling some people may feel when they talk about politics and religion. It's not that easy to have that conversation. It's something sensitive and dear to their heart. Something that got them to this point mentally and physically, right? So, also just having a respect, sometimes I feel like with that conversation is like, I don't know what I don't know. Like you said, those conversations are going to allow us to understand, but how do we enter those conversations with a pure respect, where people acknowledge that we want to learn instead of being and judging those people for their political views or their religion?
Right. And I'm glad you even asked those questions, bro. I think oftentimes when it comes to those talks, people have this tendency to come at it as in I'm right, you're wrong
Yeah.
thing, right? It's like you're seeking to validate what you believe. Because like you said, so many people often die behind their religious beliefs or even their political views, right?
Yeah.
The healthy way should be understanding. You may, like, listen, y'all, you can agree to like disagree in a sense, right? You can understand what someone believes even if you don't follow it yourself, even if it's not something that you uphold or you follow yourself. It doesn't take away from your belief system at all. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I have quite a few Muslim homies, you know,
Well,
who I get along with, who we talk and like, you know, we exchange views and have conversations. And hey, one of them even told us like, yo, bro, I still listen to sermons every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Because I can pick bits and pieces from it and adopt it to my life, and it helps me grow as a person. I'm like, bro, that's dope. The same way, like I can pick bits and pieces from what you tell me, and it adds to my value in life. You know what I mean? So that's where it starts from, is understanding and not approaching it like, yo, here's what I believe. If you don't believe it, you're wrong and I'm right. Or if you don't think this, you're wrong and I'm right. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sorry to cut you off. Let me ask you a question, because you brought up such a great point, and I really do want to hear your point on this. So do you think, like, in today's world, like when people have these conversations, right, like it's easy to have a conversation about, let's say you believe in one thing, I believe in the other, without having like a bias behind it?
mm-hmm.
Like, do you believe it's easy to have those
Oh no,
conversations?
it's definitely
without
not
a
easy.
bias?
It's definitely not easy. And that was even my next point. I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought that up, bro. The late great Kobe Bryant said this. I believe this is an interview with Ahmad Rashad where he talked about his leadership style. And
Yeah.
he was saying that, you know, sometimes you're across from somebody at a dinner table and you're looking at them like, yo, this person has something in their teeth. Like, I don't know if they can see it in their teeth, but maybe you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable and embarrassed. But he's like, eventually you're going to come along a leader that says, hey, you got something in your teeth, take it out and let's move forward. You know what I'm saying? Push past all the extra stuff that might come along with it, whether it's a moment of embarrassment or being uncomfortable. It's important to get past that moment. So to your point, bro, it's not an easy talk. And that's why we're here to have these talks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why we build this platform, because maybe we can be an example for people to have these talks, how to have these talks, and it be actually loving at the center, understanding at the center, and progressive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's never easy. A lot of times, bro, some of the most uncomfortable conversations are the most necessary, but people avoid them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you ever get a text? It could be from a girlfriend, your wife, or your boss, but it just says like, hey, we need to talk. And you'd be like, well, damn, what about what? But they're like, oh, we'll talk like at 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now the whole day you're looking like, bro, 6 o'clock, it's 1:15. Like, I gotta have this in the back of my mind for the next 5 hours to get to the point. And like, you're just hoping. And I don't know if you're like me. I'm a crazy overthinker. If those situations I hate, tell me right now, because I'm gonna be running down every scenario. I'm like, dang, did I leave the toilet seat up? What did I do? What was it? Was it something big, something small? I hate those scenarios, right? But in these conversations, and like you said, at the dinner table, mind you, you don't have to have them 24/7 all the time, constantly rehashing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just feel like sometimes it's like they're not at the forefront at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe only a small group of people are having it. And these conversations need to be louder, but they need to be had in constructive ways. You don't want it to be a situation where you're having these conversations, people are getting heated. Next thing you know, it's like a brawl or a yelling match. Like, I've seen that happen too. I've seen this a simple question on politics turn into a shouting match and like a shouting match in like that. You know what I'm saying? Like 0.3 seconds. And it's because I think humans in general have a tendency to want to speak at people versus communicating. You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing.
Or listen.
Or
exactly.
exactly.
Because it seems like people want to listen to somebody say what they were thinking or what they want to hear, right? So instead of hearing like the whole conversation, they want to hear that one-sided conversation.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Which kind of leads people to make that type of product,
Right.
or say those type of things.
Right.
They want to hear me say that. You know what I mean? So, it's the listener. The talker's only going to say what the listener want to hear.
That's true.
Right, and the
That's
listener
true.
dictates what's going to happen next in most situations.
And it leads to ego. Like we talk about ego a lot. I feel like on past episodes, and that's what it is. It's like leading to me being validated. Validate my opinion by saying exactly what I think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we bring up biases. I've always said I think biases are very normal. They're very healthy. The problem comes when people can't put their biases aside to acknowledge simple truths. Like your bias should not allow you to ignore facts. Like if your favorite sports team lost to a team that you hate, like the Knicks lost to the Celtics or the Red Sox. Well, let's not go. They play tonight. Sorry about that. Let's not wish bad on the Knicks. Different example. If the Yankees lost to the Boston Red Sox, right? I'm sure a lot of Yankees fans have a bias with New York, but you shouldn't be like, oh, we're better than them anyway. We won this many championships. Like, bro, just say you lost. It's okay.
Better.
I mean.
So like, this is what I'm talking about.
This is what I'm talking about, man. Let me tell you something. This is why you can't have no conversations with New Yorkers, man. New Yorkers never just get, even in a hypothetical, can just say the Yankees lost to the Red Sox.
I mean, the Yankees are the best baseball team. I mean, come on. Let's just be sick. And then you got the Knicks. Like, come on, come on, man. But, I get it, bias. Can you have conversations by being biased?
Yeah, that's it.
I guess.
It's okay to admit, bro. It don't take nothing away from the Yankees, man. Jay-Z gonna sell out that stadium still. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z, if you're seeing this, some tickets, please.
Right?
Baby, I'm begging.
Nah, I'm actually, I'm good, bro.
Hey, listen, man. If it means
just stream it. If I can see it streamed, bro, probably, that'd be straight.
I'm just saying, I've never been here. I want to go to the Yankee Stadium, man. But listen, let's not get too far off topic. But yeah, bro, that is one of those things where I feel like, I probably mentioned this before. Like reading one of my favorite mangas is Vinland Saga, and it's a lot about forgiveness, and it's a lot about searching for a world where people can live in peace. And one of my favorite quotes from that manga is, you have no enemies. And I feel like a lot of times, outside sources make us think we have enemies. Like, do we really have enemies in the Middle East? Are they not people just like us who have families, have kids, want to, practice their religion freely, raise their kids, see their kids do well, them enjoy life and the world that's around them? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we have so much in common that we don't speak about. And we get fed this idea of threat, evil, this, extremists, you know what I'm saying? All these heavy words that if you take too much time to indulge in it can change your whole psyche and how you perceive people. And next thing you know, it's like these people aren't even human to you. It's like dehumanizing. So I'm glad that we even had this topic just to open up, because I feel like it's just to plant a seed in the world, whoever sees this, to be mindful and careful when you talk to people, and be polite and be kind, because those things go a long way. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you look like, everything like that. But you know who has not been kind, bro?
Who?
Jake Paul. Jake Paul. I mean, I'm just gonna play a quick segment because this is a long clip, man. Should I give him the backstory on Druski before we get into the Jake Paul clip? So Druski had a skit that came out about 2 weeks ago. Now, where he might have been imitating Erica Kirk, I think it's her name.
Yeah.
And Druski's a comedian, a lot of satire. Funny video. I laughed. Got a chuckle out of it. Druski's in makeup. A lot of powder to make his skin complexion look a little bit paler.
Yeah.
Got a blonde wig on, right? Looks like a Druski woman, to say the least, right? And it's gotten some people in a tizzy, right? I think that's the way to describe it. It's kind of ruffled some feathers for some people. And one Jake Paul had this to say about it.
Of days, calling makeup artists, and I was gonna do a response to this and like go and do like the full on
Darker?
yeah, and do it and just do it back because why not?
Yeah.
Like, are we on the same playing field? Like,
I think if there's a way to do it, oh, singing in while there's even this sentence. But if there's a way to do it, I've been here many times. If there's a way to do it, I think, yeah. I think there needs to be some black support for the character, I think. Like I'm saying, like say if Druski or I'm trying to think of somebody else.
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley. It's one of those guys to be like, hey, Theo, I want you to do
Not
this
Charles
skit
Barkley.
with me.
Not Charles.
Let's do this.
But still, that's pussying out.
You think it is?
Yeah.
To me, there's a level of like,
Doesn't that make us more like prejudiced?
like more prejudice?
I'm gonna pause it there, man. They go on to talk for about another 2 minutes, man. Antoine, why don't you break this down for us first, bro? You go ahead first, man.
So, there's like a difference between like jokes and cultural disrespect, right? And I do feel like he's going down the route of just pure entertainment. Because I think that this is just my thoughts, right? I think that he is somebody that wants to drive the ticket home, right? Like he's gonna make the most out of it. And I do think that if he found the way, right? Because let's just be honest here, right? It seems like they felt like in that aspect, like conservatives, right? Because that's mainly who he was attacking. Conservatives felt like a punch. That was a punch thrown, right? If they can make something back that was just as funny, and they had to use blackface, it can end up really being something. Okay, it's funny. Why do I say that? You ever seen Tropical Thunder?
Oh, with was it Robert Downey Jr.?
Correct.
Yeah.
Nobody really questioned that blackface. You know why? Because low key was like, oh, okay, it's pretty funny. He actually did a good job, and nobody really said anything about it, right? And I really feel like there is a way. Like he's saying, if you don't necessarily need black support, but if you can find a way to really make it funny, right, and not be cultural disrespectful, right? Because I don't think that Druski was not, I don't think he was being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I think he was more just making fun of the way, how, that situation is and how extreme, how they may express themselves in extreme measure of, basically how he displayed it. And, I think if they can find a way to, find one of the things that we do, push it to the extreme, but not be too disrespectful, it could be funny. It could be something that's funny, right? Now, it's a tight line. You're walking, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say you're trying to take the words out of my mouth, buddy.
You walk in a tight line, but I mean, you guys have to remember out there, like, this is the world we're living in, right? We can't think that we can continue, things can continue to happen and somebody's not gonna say something and then we're gonna feel mad about it, right? There has to be a point where at least we can find a way, if we're gonna have, people say bad things about each other and without saying to their face, find a way to have a funny version of it so that people can at least accept it for what it is. Because regardless or not, it seems like people's deeper, values or how they really felt came out behind some of these comedies, and some people laughed. You know what I'm saying? Some people looked at it and said, and some people said, oh, and it just brought a different person out of them. So, tight line, you walking, you get what I'm saying? But I do wish there could be just a world where we could have some comedy where, people are not looking at it from a racist view, or people are not trying to culturally disrespect people.
So, that's the thing, right? The culture part. What's America's culture? Is deeply, deeply, deeply rooted. You can say is at the core racism, right? And two things aren't always created equal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like even him saying like, oh, what if we do it? Like, no, y'all have done this. Like the reason why blackface is a thing is because from like the 1800s y'all did it. And you didn't do it for the sake of a good joke or hearty horror. You did it to disparage and dehumanize Black people. The history behind it is so deep and insidious. That's why, like, when a white person does it, even in the case of Robert Downey Jr., even though we did let it slide, it's like that's like a hard line. You know what I'm saying? Like how you're saying, like it's a tightrope, because then you don't know who's gonna take the liberty to say, let me hide the racist intent behind the guise of comedy, right? It's too heavy of a line to play with. Like Jake Paul, we gonna call Anthony Joshua again. You might need your jaw broke again. You know what I'm saying? Like the skit that Druski did, like to your point, was aimed at more so a person and not like a culture. You know what I mean? It wasn't a broad net cast out to stereotype somebody, but like they say, a hit dog gonna holler. Like they internalized that.
Yeah.
Maybe you saw a bit of yourself in that skit and felt like, oh my God, how could they? And I want to do it again. And I mean, like, ultimately, I was watching this documentary on Bill Cosby a few years ago, and it reminded me, like, oh yeah, Bill Cosby is one of the reasons how of why blackface got X'd out of Hollywood, because for a long time, you couldn't have a stunt double. Black stunt doubles weren't a thing. So they would literally just get like white people put like brown paint or dark paint on them and throw them in an extra. And if you go even further back than that, blackface wasn't just like, oh, we're going to portray a black character. It was made to make Black people look like animals. You know what I mean? And to be made to look like savages. So it's like, that's where you got to start teaching like the history. We're talking about taboo stuff. Like that's why it's important that, you know, history be taught in schools, so that like not just Black kids, but white kids can know like, yeah, nah, that's you know what, in the greater context of things, historically, that shit not cool. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing that we should probably play with. You know what I mean? It's almost like this is the same thing like with the N-word. It's like, yeah, you can't, especially now with hip hop, like, you know, really being a pop culture thing. I know that's somewhat of a talk for people. Like, I don't police people who they can and can't say. But what I do say is this, right? Is that what Black people have had to do to survive was take the scraps that's given and turn, you know, shit into sugar. You know, take coal and make it into diamonds. Take all the things that were meant to denigrate us, and we was like, we can make anything fly. You know what? You say the N-word, watch this. We're going to flip this and make it sound like the flyest word, and we're going to take power in that, like, to your point. So, like, we're taking the power away from you. Like, we're going to start dictating how we view ourselves and not let you do it. And then sometimes it gets to a point where people look at it, and it looks so fly and it looks so appeasing, you forget, like, oh, this thing was actually meant to harm somebody. But quite literally, blood was shed to take the power out of these words. Like, you know, soul food wasn't meant for it to taste good and to be a cultural thing. It was the leftovers that slave owners didn't want, but let people know, hey, we're gonna season this up, we're gonna make this taste like the best thing ever. So it's like, could their point, like I said, the Robert Downey Jr. thing was a great point. Like, are there certain scenarios, I think, in a very controlled environment, for sure, but like for someone like Jake Paul, who's notoriously MAGA, has said a lot of other anti-Black things, a lot of other just really, really, really right-wing things. It's like, he's not the person that should be playing around with this, hinting at it, because you know what you're doing. You're white whistling. You know what I'm saying? You know that you're speaking to a fan base. And like the co-host was on edge. Like he said it. He didn't even say blackface. He's like, you want to go, you want to paint it darker? Like he's sitting here like, oh, this is not going to be good if we say this, because you know at your core, like your white ancestors are telling you, like, yeah, no, we was, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no,
like, bro. No. So, like, I think, like you said, the person who's talking to him knows that it's like, oh, this is a tight line we walk in.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, clueless or not, I think that, Jake Paul is really trying to figure out a way to bring, a comedic. Just bring back some type of some comedic value out of that situation without, touching the line, right? Which is really tough to do, right? The blackface that you were saying, bro, I just look at it like this, right? You know, the time we're in right now, right? If somebody puts on blackface right now, bro, it's gonna be considered like horrible, definitely, right? But we got blackface, we got whiteface, and it seems like right now it's being used to make money, just like racism, right? Like we got white chicks. You know, when white chicks came out, you know, you had the Marlon Brothers dressed up as 2 white women, right? Nobody said anything about that, right? But then Druski comes out looking like a white chick, right? And I guess it's, of course, you know, the person he's talking about is a sensitive topic right now and things of that nature. But he does it in that facet, and now it becomes a thing like, oh, well, you guys are doing it. No, it's been going on. Entertainment has been doing this. I watched Scary Movie 1 the other day, bro. The beginning of the movie, they were singing Mysticals, Shake That Fast, right? And all the people that was in there were saying N-word. You get what I'm saying? It was, you know what I mean? So it's we choose to ignore when it's there, when it's funny. Meanwhile, they wrote that movie, right? But you know what I mean? I guess it's okay. You know what I mean? If we can we tell them people to do it, right? And then they say it and it's okay, right? Like, so I'm just looking at it from this point. Can we find a way in the middle to find some type of comedic value in all of the stress that is caused with racism? Do you think that is a point, like a point that we can get to finding any type of like laughter in it? Because if not, then there should never be any type of skits on it, because then at that point it would never be funny.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Like, there's definitely a lot. Like, for me personally, like a good example of this is like Daniel Tosh, to me as a white comedian, tells the best race jokes.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion, and a lot of them are rooted like I said, in culture and and it never feels like. I'm trying to remember one of the jokes without messing it up. Yeah. But it's just like he had a joke where he goes like, I'm tired of being politically correct. Sometimes I just want to look at the TV and be like, God, black people are fast. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just like little jokes like that. It's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here like, oh my God, you think all black people are fast and you like no, like he's like, nah, it's like I just want to tell the truth. They're fast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or like he had a joke where he was like, you know, I could solve police brutality like this overnight, and it's simple. Only black people can be police officers, and all the white people can be firefighters. He's like, it makes more sense. No, white people are naturally more outdoorsy, so you can be outside all you want. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's true. It's like even in that short joke, it's like you kind of get to like black people should police their own communities. It shouldn't be like, you know, random white people who are going into neighborhoods they quote unquote might be afraid of. You know what I'm saying? Things like that.
There's some. I've seen some stories. There's some white people that go out into these black communities and be the savior. Like even Lil Wayne said when he shot himself.
Yeah, there's some. There's definitely some. Yeah, like there's some. I'm not saying
sometimes
like,
you want them because sometimes you want some of them in that community because sometimes some people tend to bend and be like, you know what? Okay, I'll leave that alone. I'll help out in that type of situation because that person's there. So you know, it's a give or take. It's just about the character of people at the end of the day.
Right. It is. It's just like I said, I think sometimes too, like in the sense of like I said, scary movie and stuff like that, it's also just contingent on like who's saying it. Like who's saying like Jake Paul made this, like not you, bro. Definitely not you. Because we know from you this is not gonna be end funny. Like even his co-host knows like from you, nah, like you're maybe like you said, Robert Downey Jr. got that off, you know what I'm saying? And I remember people like even on that post, like under the comments, people were posting that like he thinks he's this guy. It's like nah, bro, you ain't got the facilities for that, big man. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's one of those things where it's like nah, man, And on a greater note, it's like with Jake Paul, bro, it's like you've in recent memories, like I've seen people like even making fun of George Floyd when he passed. Seen people make fun of Trayvon Martin when he passed. When I say people like racist white people do that and get that off. And like a lot of times for people like Jake Paul and people from that ilk, it feels like they don't want comedy. They want to be able to laugh at black people in a racist way with impunity, without any backlash. You know what I'm saying? There's no actual like, because the beauty of comedy is being able to, you know, bridge a gap or to laugh at some of the things that make us uncomfortable. That's like with taboo things, like the same way like I'm not even like, bro, if you go and watch those Dane Cook stand, he goes crazy. Like he really does a great job of like having bizarre or extreme scenarios play a part. Like one of my favorite jokes is like, you know what I hate when I see a tragedy is every time someone does something and they interview a family member, they go, "Oh my God, I can't believe she did that. I never did see it coming." He's like, "I would never. I hate that shit." He's like, if my mom went and like blew up a preschool, he'd be like, "I can kind of see it." I was like, you know, when I was a kid, she used to beat me really hard. I don't think she liked toddlers. You know what I'm saying? like he's funny like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and you might be, like I said, track record and context matter, and history tells like the biggest track record and the biggest context. And I think that's a good segue too to talk about our next topic is Kanye West. Kanye West was recently denied entry into the UK, and I felt bad for Kanye because I'm like, dang, what Kanye do? And then my brain reminded me, oh, Kanye did a lot. Kanye did a lot. Let me ask you something. Did you see any of the images from the show he did at SoFi Stadium?
We had Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen some of them.
Yeah, I mean, bro, it looked like an amazing show. And I was like, dang, this is probably like one of the first shows that he didn't have like a crazy rant. There was one part, I think, of the show where he was talking about the lighting and trying to get the lighting right. But outside of that, he didn't stop the show to talk about whatever Kanye had to talk about, which I think was a good sign for his mental health because he had previously had an apology a few, maybe 2-3 months ago. He put out that long apology. I think it was in the New York Times or something to that degree. But Kanye was denied access to the UK for the Wireless Festival. He was supposed to be headlining that show. And when I saw the news, I felt very conflicting. One part of me felt bad for Kanye. Another part of me said, you deserve it, Kanye. I mean, bro, I had to really go down. I'm like I said, this is Kanye's career. Right? I call it like the tale of two halves. First half, college dropout, late registration, graduation, 808s and heartbreaks, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, great Kanye. I mean, generational music. And for all intents and purposes, a fairly like liberal, more black extremist minded type lyrics, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you go listen to songs like Never Let You Down, go listen to songs like Diamonds Are Forever, where he's shining light on Sierra Leone. Go listen to songs like Two Words. Like Kanye was on some like pro-black, radical, like power to the people type, you know what I'm saying? This is like Black Panther music, you know what I mean? And then you fast forward to just even like last year, he's in a Klan outfit with a swastika chain. And then remember we covered the situation with the doofuses who shall not be named, who got banned from like every restaurant and club in South Beach for playing Kanye's Hail Guy with the Mustache. So it's like, yeah, Kanye, I mean, I get it. You did apologize, but an apology comes with changed behavior, and changed behavior comes with time. And you can't, I mean, mind you, I think he did put out a statement where he wasn't pouting about it or being mad about it, but this made me think like, yeah, bro, you can't just be like, oh, my bad, and think that things are gonna go back to regular, or like people are just gonna open their doors to you. Like you've Kanye created an ecosystem. I didn't even get into the Red Hat, Make America Great stuff that you were on, all the All Lives Matter things you were on, that he still has not apologized for any of those things. But it just, like, he created this ecosystem where even as a Kanye fan, and I've been a Kanye fan since I was 12, it's like I stopped supporting him, not because quote unquote canceling him, but at some point you kind of go like, enough's enough. Like, I don't want to be caught in this cycle of I can do whatever I want, say whatever I want, hurt people's feelings, disparage people, and I can double back 6 months later with an album and a cool T-shirt and some shoes, and y'all go to buy it anyway because I'm Yeezy. You know what I mean? Like, I want to remove myself from that cycle. Like, all right, bro, I'm not going to enable this. Like, I may be one of the few people who can tell you, no, Kanye, I'm good. I'll listen to all the old stuff. Mm-hmm. and I'll still, wish you the best. But I ain't about to be caught in this back and forth cycle with Kanye. And there's still ramifications that you have to face. And bring up Vinland Saga again. Main character goes on a redemption arc, and he has someone who follows him, who he harmed greatly. And she said, if I catch any glimpse of the old you, I will put an arrow in your head. And then you eventually get to the point where she sees that the change behavior is real and she forgives him. But Kanye, you got a lot of journey, bro. You got a lot of journey. Now may not be the time for like Wireless Fest and like, music. I get that he has a new album out, but I just don't think that timing's right now, personally.
Hey, bro, I just want to say, you and Kanye, I don't know what type of hate love relationship you guys got, but listen, bro, I could tell right now, bro, like you are a big fan of his. Anything that Kanye does at this point, I really don't try to pay attention to. At this point, there's a bigger things that's going on in this world, but
True.
I do definitely understand it, being like, his music is great and things that he did put out a new album. And I did text you and tease you like, yo, bro, did you listen to the album? Knowing damn well I didn't, you know what I mean?
I was like, nah.
But it's not even about Kanye. It's more about the culture right now. I feel like the culture is in like more of a soaking place, and a lot of things that's going on right now in the culture it's really impacting my me looking at the culture the same way I did when I was growing up. You get what I'm saying? So. Kanye's a part of it, so I kind of look the other way. There's a lot of things that happen, not to stray away from Kanye, but Lil TJ and Offset this weekend, they're
Pooh Shiesty and Gucci as well.
Pooh Shiesty and Gucci, and like those type of things happening, really was big this weekend. I don't really have too much to tell anybody to do or what we got to do, but I definitely am looking the other way, man. I don't kind of like want to adopt that culture where nobody can get up. We're gonna tear each other down or whatever aspect, but also making bad deals for people that people may not feel like is good for them and make them feel that way, right? It's on both ends.
Right.
You had that little TJ and Offset, like two people got shot. I don't know who shot who. That's none of my business. But even with that situation, it just seems like bigger issues are just being created in our culture. And, who somebody on the outside looking in is going to just look at both of them as idiots. Jay-Z said it best. You can't tell from a distance, they can't tell who's who, right? So both of you look like idiots at the end of the day. So, hopefully, Kanye realizes that, he's part of a culture that does, take what he does and appreciate it and not stop throwing things out there that, we necessarily don't want to hear or don't want to see. So, I don't know, bro. I just, am really, 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 upset this week, though. I'll be honest with you, really upset.
I want to get into that. Just a quick. Pick up where we left off.
Oh, yeah. You remember? Okay.
Yeah, bro. You make a great point about the things that's happening right now. The way the culture is. And I guess we can call it hip hop culture, right? We had two big incidents in hip hop back to back where Pooh Shiesty allegedly robbed Gucci Mane to force his way out of a contract. And we have a situation where Offset and Lil TJ get into an altercation and it leads to Offset getting shot. And I don't know about you, over the last couple of years, I got like PTSD. Whenever I hear a rapper being shot, I'm like, my mind goes to like worst case scenario. You know what I mean? Because we lost Nipsey, we lost Dolph, we've lost Takeoff. It's a long list, unfortunately, of rappers who have been tragically murdered due to gun violence. So, bro, I'll let you enter this one because I do got a lot to say, but I might need a chance to gather my thoughts on this one.
No, absolutely, bro. So like you said this weekend, especially with the Lil TJ and Offset thing, like they were at the Hard Rock Casino, bro.
Yeah, right down the street from us.
Yeah, not too far from us, right? My only thing about it is, bro, I go to the Hard Rock Casino sometimes, right? I may look like a mix of Offset or Lil TJ. I go in there with my braids, they may think I'm Offset or Lil TJ. So thank you guys. You guys just messed it up for me. If I go in there, you know, I tell them I'm from the Bronx, they may, Lil TJ, you know what I mean? And
This is a Bronx demon, said Bronx drill dudes.
listen,
You gotta keep them out of Florida, man.
Yo, and if I go up there and I start betting and I end up losing and they start thinking I'm Offset, like y'all not about to do that to me. You know what I'm saying? But let's just let them be known, right? I'm Jiggy. You know, do not confuse me with anybody else. You get what I'm saying? But you know, on a serious note though, it was definitely did bring home like a, you know, an interesting topic to me, right? Because you know, yeah, somebody almost got shot, which is, you know, one of the things about the culture. You know, you do me wrong, I'm gonna do you wrong. But one of the main things too, they were there at the Hard Rock Casino. They were, you know, from what I'm seeing, they were gambling, trying to make money, right?
Right.
And you know, like you get into the mode, you know, you're trying to make your money. You may lose money, and you know your heart's racing, and you trying to make this money. And if you lose, you trying to make more of it, right? But in this situation, I just really thought about it. I'm like, yo, like, is gambling like a problem that's being overlooked, right? Is gambling right now, right, with how it's set up from like being on TV, right, to being in video games. You get what I'm saying, in their own little ways, right? It's just like, it seems like gambling is almost everywhere, and it's like preparing the youth for them to be ultimate gamblers, right? To ultimately, if you have money, here's a way to lose it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nowadays, you know, I just want to, you know, nowadays it just seems like people like Offset and Lil TJ, when they have differences, right, and they're in the same place or whatever the case is, instead of solving it, because like, think about it, bro. At the end of the day, from what they say, like, they have money, right?
Right.
If you got money, you're not trying to solve problems by like just putting yourself in those type of situations, right? Because you know it can cost you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So if that's the case and they got money like that, bro, you got to think about putting yourself in better situations. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, your families don't want to lose you.
Exactly.
Right? And the culture, your fans that actually listen to your music, they don't want to lose y'all either.
At all.
And to be there and to, you know, have a bet go wrong or something like that, and somebody can almost lose their life, bro, I had to look at it and be like, yo, is gambling more of a problem than we think? Is it creating situations that we don't want to be in? So it's just very interesting to me, bro.
No, it's definitely. I mean, there's been rumors now of Offset having a gambling addiction. I mean, I can't say if he does or doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't. You know, I can't speak to the rumor being true or not. I mean, some of the tension between Lil TJ and Offset apparently came from a moment where TJ might have loaned him $10,000 at one point while he was in the casino. So that's just not a good look. I wouldn't think that Offset, who's a part of a legendary music group in the Migos, would need money from Lil TJ, who's a relatively new artist. I mean, kind of been around for a minute, low key, since what, 2018,
I ain't gonna lie, you sounded old when you said that. He new artist.
Like, I was like, I mean, when I say, that's why I say relatively new. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't, like, if you compare like the duration of time that Offset's been in music versus Lil TJ, like, one greatly outweighs the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one has reached massive commercial success versus one who's, I don't want to call Lil TJ underground, but he's not commercial. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's more of the, what'd you call him? Like the Bronx drill movement. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might.
I wouldn't say he's drill, but he getting his money.
Yeah, maybe not drill, but you know what I'm saying? He's more like, because Lil TJ and even A Boogie had an issue at one point. I guess, maybe not Bronx drill, but you know, he's from the Bronx. People have said that he's kind of like
At the melodies.
Yeah, the melodies. He's like, I don't want to say off-brand A Boogie, but I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that because that was kind of like the comparison. Like, I think it kind of sparked the issue between them two. Yeah. It was kind of like how at one point Future and Rich Homie Quan, God rest his soul, weren't really seeing eye to eye because the two styles were so kind of similar in that vein. Anyway, not to get too far off topic. Yeah, bro. I mean, it's gambling. Gambling's definitely a problem. There are too many ways to gamble, from the Hard Rock Casino itself to Prize Picks to Kalshi to even Robinhood to FanDuel to Underdog. Like, you name it. It's a bunch of sports betting apps, you know. And I always say, gambling, like sports betting can be fun. Like, sometimes you might take a 20, make, $4 or $5 tickets and,
Yeah.
whatever you win, you win. You know what I'm saying? But there's some people out there who actually have like that addiction. It's like they're gamifying gambling, and they're putting big money, maybe hundreds of dollars at a time into gambling. And we always talk about the times we're living now. It's expensive as hell and people are desperate. So you take expensive times and desperate people, and it's no different than trying to get a scratch off at this point. You know what I mean? Like some people are trying to make it big off sports bets, The situation with the culture in general too is frightening to me because I'm like, bro, I mean, I'm not gonna act like hip hop's been perfect at any time or that there hasn't been like incidences in hip hop before. But I mean, my goodness, man, it used to be kind of few and far in between. You know what I mean? Like, God bless their souls, when Biggie and Pac died, it was maybe a little minute before hip hop had like a really major tragic loss. Like, at least in my short lifetime, I think it was maybe like Pimp C. I remember hearing the news about Pimp C and like being on my couch watching MTV Jams and seeing the news that Pimp C had passed away. I was like, bro, what? This is like, what, maybe 07, 08 or somewhere around there? But you look at from, let's call it 2014 up till now, the last 12 years, hip-hop has had tragedy after tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. And if it's not resulting in someone losing their life, it's resulting in someone going to jail. You talk about Pooh Shiesty robbing Gucci Mane. He'd been home for 6 months, if that. The First Day Out song going crazy, you're thinking, oh man, this is about to be lit for him. He's, he served 5 years down here in South Florida. And you in the feds again? Because you can't conduct business like a businessman, you got to resort to the streets? And then it's like, you look at the situation with TJ and Offset, it's like $10,000. I mean, I'm not going to act like it's not a lot of money, but $10,000 ain't like, it's not you're going to lose more money in the court and with lawyers and with a hospital bill and with not being able to do shows because of your reputation than that $10,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, one greatly outweighs the other. Like, $10,000 is a nice little piece of change, but come on, bro. Like, weigh it out. I'm like, where is the rappers? Like, remember when Jay-Z said, can make like $200,000 for Brit, but one rhyme could beat that? Like, where are the rappers thinking like that, bro? Where are they? Please, someone help, because it's so backwards. I mean, even Dirk is still in the feds over what? Sending out hits? Like, bro, there's no famous gangsters, man. There's no famous tough guys. Just be rappers. Just be entertainers. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about your lived experience. Tell stories about the streets. Like, y'all are blessed.
Yeah, but it's the fans' fault. But the fans push the direction, bro. It's not the artists. I bet you the artists be talking about bubblegum if that's what the fans want to hear.
Man.
But these artists get here, bro. I don't know if you've seen, I was dying, bro, this clip of Joe Budden on his podcast when he was like, yeah, put on that Poor Shiesty. Yeah, I like listening to somebody who's really living a life.
Bro, no, I saw. I'm a huge Joe Budden fan, so I saw that clip live, bro. And don't get me wrong, bro. But bro, why I can't put that on the only because like the fans ain't in the studio with you. Like, the fans get what you give them. You know what I'm saying? So like, you condition the fans more than anything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. Like, I'm in agreement with it. Like, I'm from the South. We grew up listening to Lil Boosie. Boosie was one of those rappers. Jeezy was one of those rappers. Gucci was one of those rappers. T.I. was one of those rappers. It was like the music hit different because it felt like, nah, he really liked that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, those dudes weren't like crashing out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least to that degree. I mean, Gucci had an incident with Jeezy where it got heated. You know what I'm saying? And that was our thing with the whole rap beef stuff, where it's like, elements in hip hop has been. It's weird, bro, because I feel like it's just the coin, like two sides of the same coin type of thing, where like we know hip hop came from the street, but we also know like hip hop as an art form, and sometimes it gets intertwined in a way that's hard to separate. You know what I mean? So like whether it be the Chicago drill movement, whether it be like Gucci and Jeezy with their situation and Jeezy releasing Stay Strapped and the situation that came from that with Gucci Man, fighting murder cases and stuff like that. It gets tricky, man. And I don't really definitively know the answer, you know what I'm saying, to like how we get this to stop. Or like you said, it could be the fans. Like, do we as fans have to stop supporting the street guy turned rapper? Like, do we have to just put our foot down and be like, you know what, man, we got to pick and choose who we make famous more? Because at this point, it's like some of y'all aren't wanting to be artists. Like y'all are street dudes wanting to be famous and elevate your street rep more so than being musicians. So it definitely, a lot of that could be on us, bro.
That's true.
Like I think it's about time we as a fandom pick and choose who to say. And now I'm not gonna lie, bro. This where I'll admit I'm a hypocrite because I go in the gym tomorrow and I play ESCG and I play 4-2 Doug. I'm like, damn, this is some good, really good negative music.
Man, you want to go crazy when you lift it, right?
I'm like, bro, I'm like, listen, man, listen. I love Kendrick. Kendrick don't got too much songs. I'm not saying he don't have none songs. He don't got too much songs. It's like, you put two caddies on, it's like, it's either I get this off or I'm going to die.
Yo, facts, right?
You know what I'm saying? Kendrick got a lot of bops, but they're like the bops when I'm in the whip, I'm driving. When I'm in the gym, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to get the testosterone going. You're like, I gotta get this off a new PR. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's gotta be something a little bit more aggressive. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It might be Dirk. It might be King Von. You know what I'm saying? Like,
King Von be definitely in the gym.
Yeah, King Von's definitely in the gym a lot. King Von, ESTG, 4-2 Doug, Dolph, Nipsey for me is on that list. Of course, Jeezy, T.I. I got a few. Pusha T's on that list for me too. Pusha T got some gym bangers that help me kind of get going.
I don't know what it is, bro. But in the gym, bro, I have a specific playlist for just DMX.
Oh yeah,
I just have a specific for DMX because I don't know what it is, bro, but I don't know, bro.
Yeah, of course, bro. His tonality.
Yeah,
bro. Are you sick, bro? I'm a huge Jim, bro. Yeah, listen, bro. I mean,
open up the door. It's real.
What was good? Yes.
I mean, they're like, Jiggy, go.
Listen. It's gonna give it to you. Bro, I'm with you, man. Hey, to close this out on this episode, any sports takes, any predictions? The play-in starts next week.
Yeah.
Any predictions? Any quick early sports takes you want to get off your shoulders or off your chest?
Yeah, so, specifically speaking about just the NBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there's been this debate about, the MVP and, should it be, defense be considered as much as offense with the award? I'm guessing that's the thing being talked about because Wemby comes out and says, hey, listen, I play both ends well.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And then now people are looking at him as the MVP. And then I look at somebody who's been, destroying the league like Luka, you know what I'm saying, and Jokic, who played just one particular side of the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, with this conversation being brought up, I think now is the time that you can see people like Jaylen Brown thrive in that type of conversation, right? So, for me right now in the NBA, the MVP is coming up. You had Cade Cunningham, he's out, so he's probably not going to be eligible for some of those awards like the first team. But they have some, things they could work around it, so hopefully that happens. But I just want to say this. Right now, NBA, for the MVP, I'm sick of seeing just one side of the basketball be rewarded for how it impacts a team. And I would love to see the MVP go more towards people who play both sides of the game.
Floor.
Because now it will change the game, change how we look at the game. And now we will see the people who are actually the best players. Because I personally think the best players are Kawhi Leonard, if I'm going to play, I'm going to lock you up just as much as I'm scoring you. Right? And then I feel like you got somebody like a Jaylen Brown who's there right now in that type of position who I think, to me, this is my thoughts, I think he's the front runner of MVP just because
He
of that.
should be. I don't know why they don't bring his name up. I don't know.
He
like,
is the front runner. I think Wemby is right on his heels. You know what I'm saying? If Jalen, I would give it's out of those two, but nobody else. To me,
Yeah.
I don't want to see
Luka, Shea.
Shea's team he has a great
Loaded.
team. Loaded. Like, and
What about
you know,
Joker?
Joker, I don't want to see him, bro. Joker is a great offensive player,
Right.
But I think and he's gotten MVP before. But I
Right.
think I really do truly think they need to give that to the best offensive defensive player. It needs it, or make an offensive player of the year award, so they can just give it to the offensive player and let the MVP be the most valuable actual player on both offense and defense, because they play both sides of the game. So
I'm with you, bro. I actually agree. I do think it should be between Jalen Brown and Wemby.
Yeah.
I want to play a funny song at the end, but I'll wait for after his take. Here's my only thing with MVP. Here's my quick MVP take. I want the MVP to no longer be voted on by sports writers. I would much rather the MVP be voted on by past winners, retired past winners of the MVP awards should be the people voting on it, and maybe like retired former coaches of the year. Maybe not current coaches because maybe it's too much of a bias.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
former like coach of the year winners
Yeah.
who are retired and no longer in the NBA should be making up the brunt of the voting, you know. And then I don't know, maybe you could throw in some GMs in there or something.
I would definitely.
And the
vote for
reason
that.
why, bro, because like to your point, like why do we always have this debate? Is it the player who plays both sides of the ball? Is it the best player on the best team? Is it who's most valuable to their actual team? Because if you're looking at that, then it should be a two-man race. It should be Kawhi and it should be Jaylen Brown, because Kawhi and the Clippers did something that nothing in history, no other team in history did, where it's like they started off 6-21 and they're above 500 now.
Yeah.
Like that never happened before.
Yeah.
You know, they have a chance to make the playoffs. And you look at Jaylen Brown, I mean, my goodness, man, going into the year, all I seen was Jaylen Brown jokes. He has no left. He can't really dribble. He's going to be exposed. He's not a real first option. The Celtics won 50-plus games in a year where Tatum was out most of it. This was supposed to be a transition, a gap year in which they're just rebuilding. Like, we didn't even think they were, even if we thought they were making the playoffs, we thought there'll be a 6 or 7 seed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're a top 3 seed in the East, bro.
Yeah.
And he held down the fort all year long with no other co-star. Him and Pitchard. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, come
Sam Hauser.
Yes, yeah, bro. Like, come on, man. And then I really was cheering for Cade. I don't know all the rules and stipulations behind the whole injury and the game played limit with the NBA, but Cade, to me, I was like, bro, he's what him, was it Detroit or OKC got the best record right now? They're going back and forth between
OKC has the best record.
right, but even still, I feel like Detroit, like for them to be the number one in the East with Cade leading them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's almost like a best player, best team. Even when he was gone, bro, I'm looking at Detroit, and they're winning games I didn't think they'll win. They're such a tough team. Like, they're so young. I'm looking to see if they could take that next step and get further into the playoffs. But that team is super talented, and Cade's the engine behind that. Like, to your point, dog, I mean, the Luka thing, you know, you're going to bring up Luka because of his scoring and the LA Lakers, you know, but outside that, I would consider Jokic always, because I feel like Jokic is he's just so dominant, bro. I just watch Jokic and I'm
bro.
like,
I can't
bro,
lie.
this dude is absolutely insanely good. Like, the way he controls the game, the way he's able to get his teammates open, and like, I can't say enough. I can't say enough about Jokic. I just want to play a funny song because we were talking about Jaylen Brown. And while we're talking about Jaylen Brown, I want to bring up this funny. I just want to bring up this funny video right here. You heard this bop yet, bro? Let's get this little bop going. We're gonna get on a high note.
in the NBA. I think it's way too many Jalen's in the NBA. Went to sleep and it was 10 Jalen's in the NBA. Woke up and now it's 30 Jalen's in the NBA. We got Jalen Smith on the Bulls. Jalen with a Y playing for the Timberwolves. Think it's a joke, but I'm actually earnest. Tell the truth, that ain't even really scratching the surface. 607 players on the court playing. 16 teams got a player named
Jalen.
It's really 2 Jalen's on 3 teams. It's gotta be like 50% of the league. I'm trying to figure what it all really means. I know my mama raised him like my son is my king. And I could probably recognize them all by facial. And I wouldn't be surprised if they was all by
Racial.
Oh, you can hit play. You can hit play if you want. Oh, shit.
NBA. I think it's way too many Jalen's in the NBA. Went to sleep and it was 30 Jalen's in the NBA. Woke up and now it's 80 Jalen's in the NBA. We got Jalen Hood up on the Lakers, Wilson on the Nets, Jalen Smith is on the Pacers. Can't forget Jalen Durant is on the Pistons. Another Jalen out of Sacramento where the Kings is. Bridges, Harris, Williams on the Thunder. About to place bets on where the next one finna come.
Oh, man. Look, we might have to stop before YouTube flag us.
Yo. Thank y'all for.
Hey, listen, y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in with us, man. Thank y'all for, being patient, for still engaging with the content, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, man. We plan on growing this podcast into something special, something impactful, something meaningful, not just to us, but to you guys. Like, we're trying to build a community. We want to hear from you guys. Please leave comments, reread them, and we reply. You can talk to us.
Absolutely.
Help you get to know each other. Y'all want to have some taboo talks? You have some taboo talks? Maybe not. Maybe not. Because some of those taboo conversations in past episodes got us flamed. Like, remember that barber? That barber who got really mad that you didn't sit still in the chair?
Yeah. He thought he was the one cutting my hair.
That's apparently, man. He took that to heart. But listen, y'all, this has been Everything is Everything, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Come on.